Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to All Praise Picks. Today we're looking at the WNBA. We have the Connecticut Sun playing against the Washington Mystics on June 27th, 2024. Apologize for the late upload for this one. Bronny James just got drafted to the Lakers, and I got a little bit sidetracked, but I have a few bets for you guys on BetMGM, and they're pretty well researched. I just won't go into all the stats in this one, but as always, I'll break down the lines, give you my thoughts, and hopefully if you tap in, we can all win. So these are the first two parlays that I have, and in this game I'm leaning towards the Sun to have a bounce back win. They had two tough road losses against the Aces and the Storm, and they're playing a much worse team in the Mystics, who on the season are 4-13, which is last place in the Eastern Conference, and on the other hand, the Sun are 13-3, which is second place in the Eastern Conference. But in these two parlays, starting with the one on the left side at plus 140, I am looking towards Brianna Jones to have a pretty good game in this one. She scored over 10 points in 8 straight games, including 10 plus field goal attempts and around 3 to 4 free throw attempts per game. And she has a better defensive matchup in this game, which should lead to more rebounds. So I have her going over 10 points and over 4 rebounds in this one. I also think that the offenses will be able to score in this one. I am leaning more towards the Suns offense to have a bounce back game. In their first two games versus the Mystics, the Sun won 84-77 and 76-59. So they definitely are able to score versus the Mystics, and both point totals in those games went over. In the first game it went over 150, and in the second game it nearly went over 144.5. But I do think that both offenses in this game should go over 144.5 points. And as I said, I lean towards the Sun to win this game, so I have them at minus 2.5 for the first parlay on the left side. And that's at plus 140. For the second parlay on the right side at plus 155, mainly the same game theory for the Sun to win the game. So I have them winning by 5 points in this one, but I also have DeWanna Bonner to have a better game. Bonner in her last two games, she scored under 9 points, but she consistently gets rebounds. But on the season, she's averaging 16.3 points and 6.2 rebounds. And versus the Mystics, so far this year, she's averaging 21 points and 7 rebounds. So I do think that she should have a pretty good game, and also just a bounce back spot, considering that the Sun did have 5 days of rest. So DeWanna Bonner, being an older player, she probably took a well advantage of that rest and should be able to come out in this game and score over 12 points and have over 5 rebounds. This is the next parlay that I have at plus 150. And it is more so leaning towards just the overall game theory. I do think that the Mystics are a little bit undervalued in this spot, especially being at home. But so to start off, I have Ariel Atkins to have over 15 points, rebounds, and assists. She is the leading scorer and shot creator for the Mystics thus far this season. And on the season, she's averaging 14.8 points and just under 4 rebounds and 4 assists per game. So I think that she'll have overall a decent game. I think even if the Sun blow out the Mystics, she should be able to get over this 15 plus PRA line. I also think that Stephanie Dolson is pretty underrated in this game, especially from the 3-point line. In her last 3 games, she's had an average of 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists, and she's averaged over 10 field goal attempts and 6 3-point attempts in the game over that 3-game span. So I think she should be pretty likely to get at least 2 3-pointers as long as her shot is falling. And I also took her to have over 8 points and over 4 rebounds. In her last games versus the Sun, she had 9 points and 6 rebounds, and then 5 points, although it was on 1 of 6 field goal attempts and 4 rebounds. So I do think in this one she should be able to get at least 8 and 4. But there is a line on BetMGM to have over 5 points for Stephanie Dolson, but obviously if she had over 2 3-pointers, she would have more than 5 points, so I didn't add that to this parlay. I also have the Mystics to have over 64.5 points. In their 2 games versus the Sun, they scored 77 and 59, and I think the 59-point game was more of an anomaly considering that their offense as of late have been playing much better. They scored over 70 points in every game since their 59-point game versus the Sun, and have scored over 83 points in the last 7 games, including 92 in their last 2 versus the Wings. So I think even though Dallas is a much worse defensive team than the Sun, I think the Mystics should be able to get over 65 points in this game. And these are the last 2 parlays that I have at plus 175 and plus 180. Looking at Alyssa Thomas to have over 20 plus PRAs and 4 assists. On the season, she's having an average of 24.5 points, a little bit less than 10 rebounds and 7.7 assists. But versus the Mystics, in 2 games, she's averaged 10 points, 9 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. So I do think that she has a good chance of getting over 4 assists in this game, especially as a bounce back spot. So on the parlay on the left side, I have her at 4 assists, and on the parlay on the right side, I have her at 5 assists. That's just a value play. And I'm just leaning towards her having more assists in this game after a tough loss versus the Storm where she only had 3 assists. I also have each team to score over 65.5 points on the left side, and the total to go over 144.5 points on the right side. And that's just more so leaning towards the Mystics to have a good game. I think that the Suns should easily score over 70 points in this game, and as long as the Mystics hold up their end of the bargain, I think that this game could go over 145 points. And on the left side, I have the Sun to have a winning margin of 3.5 points, essentially to win the game by more than 4 points. And on the right side, I have them to win the game by more than 2.5 points. I just think that this is just a great bounce back spot for them. They had 2 tough losses versus the Ace and the Storm, who are much better teams than the Mystics, especially considering their records. And I think with the 5-day rest, they should be able to play very well in this game and win it pretty comfortably. But at plus 175 and plus 180, if you bet one unit, you have 175% and 180% return on your investment, as long as the parlay hits. And I just would suggest you guys to have bankroll management and financial consciousness when deciding to make your bets. But appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you can tell in the excitement of my voice that I'm just pretty excited that Bronny got drafted. But I have more WNBA and MLB videos coming up later this week. So stay tuned for those. And until next time, peace out.